Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening. Our filmmakers quoting publicity with provocative cuts. A lot of these questions will be asked because the story that we shine our spotlight tonight on, as I say good evening to all of you and also welcoming you to tonight's top story, is where you have the cinema literally colliding with controversy. Both are C's. Now, the Malayalam blockbuster L2 Empuraan has ignited a huge firestorm. There are about 17 scenes, 17 scenes that have been slashed amidst outrage over its alleged portrayal of the 2002 Gujarat riots. Is this pure entertainment or there is some kind of a hidden agenda? And like I said, are filmmakers quoting publicity with provocative cuts? Or is this a desperate cry for creative freedom in a climate of what many are saying is stifling censorship? As political heavyweights, right from the RSS to Kerala's left, are clashing over the narrative, we are asking, did the filmmakers misjudge sensitivities? Or has this now become a battleground for competing ideologies? Stay tuned as we unravel the full story behind the edits. First up, we get you a straight question. There are 17 voluntary cuts to Empuraan. Is this pressure or suppression? That has to be the first obvious question that I'm asking on the show tonight, and a question that should be on top of your mind. Followed by our next big question. Empuraan is just entertainment, pure entertainment, or this is a Trojan horse for hidden political agenda, as many are saying. The third big question that goes up on your screen, filmmakers are doing this for publicity or there is a genuine concern, ladies and gentlemen, about freedom of expression in the country. This brings us to our next straight question. Is it now turning into a battle of narratives? One side versus the other. Who will win in this battle of narratives? This brings us to our final straight question tonight. How much of the controversy is amplified by political opportunism? Because do not forget, Netas have jumped right into this and they have raised the pitch as far as the controversy is concerned. And clearly these are questions that will be answered, and this is how through Newsnight's Deep Dive. So when we brought in the story, we realized to tell you first up that what is this controversy all about? Why is there so much brouhaha over a movie? At the end of it, it's just a movie. Let's bring up details on your screens to help you understand what really are the charges. The first big charge that has been leveled on the movie and the filmmakers is that this is promoting an anti-Hindu agenda. Look at those words and the charges carefully. The charge is anti-Hindu agenda. This brings us to our second big charge that is being leveled tonight on the filmmakers, that this is also pushing an anti-BJP agenda. And do remember, though the BJP for the moment has played very cautiously on the entire issue, but the RSS has gone all out in its mouthpiece to even say that this is presenting just a one-sided narrative of the Gujarat riots, something that should not be done, should not be allowed. And this is where they say that the filmmakers possibly have taken too much liberty. How much liberty is too much liberty is a question that again and again is asked. But is this the only movie we are talking about? Is this the only controversy? The answer is no. On your screens now are multiple instances, starting from the recent one of 2025, where you have multiple movies and multiple filmmakers who've been surrounded right now with a lot of these questions. In 2025 only, the movie Shava, it had to remove certain scenes showing Shambhaji dancing, and you have seen a lot of controversy even around this. Let's quickly rewind to more instances. This year itself, the movie was called Emergency. Kangna was playing that entire role. It was banned in Punjab. Why? Because of its portrayal of the Sikh community. To 2024, there was a movie titled Hamare Bara. This had to remove certain scenes that were deemed offensive to the minorities. Clearly, the list is long, but we have to also understand that there are sensitivities involved, like you had seen in 2018. The movie Padmavat, the title in fact got changed to Padmavat to avoid a reference to Queen Padmavati. You would recall that Karni Sena, the Rajput Sena, they were all up in arms, and there was a lot of controversy even around this particular movie. So not the first time that you're looking at an instance like this, but why do we reach a situation like this? What really is at the crux of this entire issue? Let's say good evening to our panel of guests. Joining us, we have Professor Rakesh Sinha, who's an ex-Rajya Sabha MP and a national spokesperson of the BJP with us. We also have Vivek Srivastava, who's representing the left on the show. Sanjana Galrani is a noted actress tonight on the broadcast. Kapil Madan is advocate of the Supreme Court. He does lean towards the Congress. He's completing our panel. Vivek, let me begin by asking you that what is the problem? I mean, I want to know today that if a movie has decided right now to chop about 17 scenes, they've done this clearly realizing that there are sensitivities involved and realizing that this possibly could have hurt someone's sentiment. Then why were these scenes put in the movie for the first place? Was this for publicity? Was this to generate a controversy? What was the idea, Vivek?
Okay, the idea was to represent the truth, and that is what Mr. Mohanlal was doing as an actor. And the entire team wanted to show the truth of Gujarat. But later on, the businessman and Mr. Mohanlal woke up when so much of pressure was put on him by the government. And, they tried to take the diplomatic they decided to take a cut. I think they should have stuck onto their guns and they should have said that come what may, the movie is a movie and we're not going to go for that. I mean, there had been problems in then Chief Minister for 10 years.
Freedom of speech. You're standing up for artistic freedom, which is fantastic. Do you remember what you must have said during the movie The Kerala Story, The Kashmir Files?
Yeah, the Kerala Story, the figure given earlier by the producer was 32,000 women had been victimized. And later on, that came out to be, a totally a false figure. The producer apologized and said that the figure was only three. 3 women had been victimized. So, and he apologized. So, I mean, when you give technically wrong figures and you try to, you make a movie, there's no issue. You want to follow a political agenda, even that is okay. But when you make movies like Chhawa, which are historically incorrect, with an aim to show Islam and Quran in a bad light, to flare up communal passions, to benefit one particular Hindutva ideology, it needs to be seen. Golwalkar and Savarkar both used very...
Vivek, what you're doing now is that you will get stuck in your own web, your own web. Allow me a moment. Before I get in Sajjana, who's been wanting to come in, and also Kapil here, I want to get in Rakesh Sinha here, because Rakesh Sinha also has some very, very strong opinion on the entire issue. Now, Rakesh Sinha, much like, the quote-unquote, the other lobby, the cabal that has a problem with certain movies like the Kashmir Files, like the Kerala Story, like the Sabarmati Report, the BJP today has taken a much nuanced position where you say that this is a movie at the end of it and it's up to people to decide whether they want to watch it. But look at the kind of words that the RSS and a lot of, these organizations have used. They say this is anti-Hindu, this is anti-BJP. Is this just about convenience? I mean, are people looking at a movie now through the lens from where they are sitting? Rakesh Sinha.
Two different dimensions. One is subjective issues, as Kerala Files, or suppose the film is made on 317 others. Other is on objective facts. When you are making a film on objective facts, you must keep in mind whether the visuals and narratives would promote harmony in the society, or it would lead a division in the society. Suppose there is a film on emergency and that film is a lopsided, or suppose this film is some biased. It is not going to damage society in terms of secularism, democracy in other way. But here the communal issues are involved. The visuals have more impact than the written words. We all know. The visual play a very vibrant role. In that regard, when the producers ultimately realized and had cut 17 cuts. They have removed these scenes. This shows that there is some guilt conscience. And there was a hidden agenda. Now it is very obvious. I cannot blame the Mohanlal because he is an actor. And he is a professional actor. And ultimately he also realized that. And it is very folly to blame that there is a pressure on him. In Kerala, there is a CPM government and a CPM chief minister had given a clean sheet. This film is motivated and intended to create anti-Hindu sentiment, polarize the Muslims, seeing the future vote bank. And the second most important thing is that it is also attacking latently the BJP leadership. When the court ultimately decided everything,
Yes.
you cannot go to the processes. What witness said, what happened. Ultimately, the court's verdict, that is very important. In this film, the filmmaker had completely ignored the court verdict. It is subjective judgment he had given poured in the film.
Okay.
And I think this film should be withdrawn.
But Rakesh Sinha
This
ji,
film
whose
should be reviewed
hidden agenda are
or
you
withdrawn.
talking about?
It is a red-green club. In Kerala, there is a red-green club.
Okay.
The Islamists and comrades.
Okay,
Both
that's a strong enough
followers
charge.
of the Muhammad
Yes.
Sahab and
It's
the
a
followers
strong
of the
enough charge.
Karl
I'm
Marx.
sure Vivek would want
They
to
are
respond
together.
to it. Okay, but I quickly want to, Rakesh ji, with your permission, get in both Kapil
Now,
and
just
Sajjana.
let me complete.
Okay, take 10 seconds, sir.
Let me complete one sentence.
Yes.
You know, the BJP is expanding due to its nationalist idea and leadership of Prime Minister Modi ji. And BJP is making mark in the Kerala's politics. And CPM's cadres are migrating to BJP. This is the real danger they are facing. And now the ultimate objective there is to create a complete polarization so that Muslim vote banks should remain intact.
Okay.
And now there is also competition for Muslim vote bank between Rahul Gandhi and Pinarayi Vijayan. So there is a competition between the two. Who is the owner of the Muslim vote bank?
Okay, you're saying this is competitive politics for a particular vote bank, and don't forget Kerala is also looking at elections not very far away. Sajjana, before I come to you, Kapil, where do you stand? Where does the Congress party stand on the entire issue? You speak about freedom of speech and expression. Will you be supporting the movie, Kapil, or no?
So let me Deepti say this is my individual opinion, and these remarks that I'll be making, these are my individual remarks, and allow me to say this: if a movie has threatened any power center, then perhaps we have reason to believe that the movie speaks the truth. Now, coming back to what Mr. Sinha has said, Mr. Sinha has basically made an argument that the movie may result in creating some sort of an unrest, or the movie is showing a particular fact which are not very convenient to the ruling government. I'll ask only one question here. It is not our honorable PM's job to endorse or to not to endorse a particular movie, but we've seen in the past how our honorable Prime Minister have openly endorsed a particular movie, and he has made remarks.
Kapil, I am so glad that you have touched upon that topic. Just allow me 10 seconds. Kapil, only 10 seconds. The Prime Minister watching a movie. No. It is fair. Let me tell you what I'm telling you, Kapil. You must listen to this. No, wait. Listen to me.
This is not fair.
Kapil, the Prime Minister goes out to watch a movie. All of you say he's politicizing it. Fair enough. When Pinarayi Vijayan is watching a movie and he's endorsing a movie, what are you going to say? Tell me.
Deepti, allow me to say this. You will not allow me to complete my point. So I think your interjection here is premature. Allow me to complete my point.
Yes, complete now.
The point I'm trying to make here is, if the movie is not distorting the facts, if the movie is not trying to depict something which has not happened, if the movie is not trying to distort any particular fact that has happened in the history, I think in our constitution, our constitutional provides right to every individual, every filmmaker, every actor to express the opinions, the fictions that they have, the art that they have, provided that does not lead to any kind of an unrest, that does not lead to any situation where any while doing so any offense is committed. That's the constitutional mandate that we have. That's the Article 19
but
that
you haven't
we have.
answered my
That's
question,
the reasonable
Kapil.
restriction. Just a minute. Hold on. So now allow me to now answer this particular movie. If Mr. Sinha's argument is that the movie has distorted a particular fact, or the movie has said something which is factually incorrect, then Mr. Sinha is well within its right to file a defamation case file a writ petition claiming stoppage on the release or the screening of the movie. We've seen that happened in the past where the courts have intervened. The fact is, once you don't have a legitimate case to go back and seek an injunction against the movie from getting screened, then what we would gauge is that legally you don't have any case, but you are trying to make a hue and cry just
Kapil,
because
wait. Now,
these
Kapil, what
facts
you're
are
doing, you see, apart
inconvenient
from
for
being
you.
a political spokesperson, because you also happen to be a lawyer, so you're using the jugglery of words to confuse our audiences.
No,
Don't do
no,
that.
I am sorry.
On
No, I am
Newsnight, we
sorry.
don't
I
do
think
that.
I'm
We
very
don't
clear.
mince our
No, I
words.
am
I
sorry,
asked
very
you a
clear. No,
simple
no, I am very
question.
clear.
The Prime Minister watching a movie, the entire
Dipti, मैं हिंदी
opposition
में
was
समझा
up in
देता हूँ.
arms. The opposition said he's politicizing, endorsing a movie.
Dipti,
When the Chief Minister,
मैं हिंदी में
Pinarayi Vijayan, is
मैं
going
हिंदी
out
में
to
समझा
watch a
देता हूँ.
movie, is that endorsement or not? You did not answer that question. But I have to get in Sanjana quickly here before Rakesh Sinhaji and Vivek comes back into this conversation.
Dipti,
Now,
clearly,
Sanjana, I am also wanting to play out certain, details about how the movie is doing. Because a lot of our viewers are interested to know that what happens when a controversy like this, happens in the bang of the release of a movie. How do we see, the entire viewership going up? Look at those numbers. It has already notched a 60 crore mark, right? Now, people are saying that our filmmakers today losing the plot. Don't they have any interesting, good, solid ideas of clean entertainment without a slant, without, breaking perhaps narratives like this? And is this the easy way out to ensure that you get such good numbers?
I think a film should be looked at as a film. Malayalam film industry comes up with some finest of the scripts, and we are very proud of the kind of cinema Mr. Prithviraj sir makes, or even Mr. Mohanlal sir makes. They come with a huge fan base, huge responsibility, and though they come with a Malayalam film, it's dubbed in all 5 languages. It does extremely well on the OTTs in all the languages, not just in Kerala, but across the world. That is how sensible a film they make. And when you sit down to watch a Mohanlal and Prithviraj combination film, it just goes down with you with the ease of a 5, like you've seen a 2-hour 15 minutes or 2.5-hour film just in 5 or 10 minutes. That's how smoothly the film goes on. And let a film live its life. Do you know how difficult it is in the film industry? Out of 100 films, 3 or 4 films are surviving. Remaining 95, 96 films, all the producers are going back home, selling their land, selling the houses they're living in, and becoming homeless. So when a film is working, just look at it as entertainment. Why are you fitting your political agendas in everything? You're from BJP or Congress, it does not matter to me. I am a film industry person, and what matters to me is the film should do well, and more films should be produced.
For a
more
film to do
revenue
well,
should be
Sanjana,
generated.
is this
Technicians
an easy
from
way
our
out?
film
That's
industry, actors
exactly
from our
my
film
question.
industry should get more
And
and more opportunities.
if today the filmmakers can go in for 17 cuts, they clearly realize that what they had put out during those 17 cuts was possibly unpalatable, and they shouldn't have done it in the first place. No?
See, we don't know what is happening in the back end, what kind of a political pressure or what kind of a threat has gone out, and why are people not focusing on the legitimate issues in the country like poverty or population?
Okay, I'm assuming you're saying is this a threat you're saying by the
it becomes
center?
a very big problem.
No, Sanjana, whose threat are you talking about? Who's threatening the filmmakers?
Everything is getting politicized. Some politicians behind, some bigwigs behind are definitely threatening such big actors, putting them under peer pressure that if you don't make this happen, we'll make sure, in future, none of your films will release, none of your films will get a theater.
I have to get Rakesh ji to respond to this.
Things like this definitely happen. Otherwise, an actor of such a big caliber, Mohanlal is a demigod of Kerala and a national figure in India, but he's
Rakesh Sinhaji will get the last
somebody
word.
Like him,
okay, Rakesh Sinhaji, is there pressure?
Like
is there pressure on the filmmakers?
Definitely there is pressure.
Rakesh Sinhaji.
I don't know
pressure is uncalled for and unaccepted.
I don't know from where. I don't know from where Sanjana got such information. This is her priority to see that this pressure or that pressure. But I am telling you 2 things. That film is not merely the entertainment. It communicates. her own words that film should be on poverty and other fundamental issues. This means film has certain role in creative life, not only creative life, also in the real life. When you are making a film which divides the society, creates a disharmony, creates animosity, that film is a dangerous tool. And I think Prithvi Raj has done a great mistake. He must realize the mistake. I request him to make a film on Mopla and show how the thousands of Hindu women were raped. Thousands of Hindu houses were burnt by Moplas. Will he do that? No, he will not do that. That is not a history for him. This is the history for him. Gujarat riots was a controversial. It was a riot, but he is omitting 59 innocent Hindus who were killed in Sabarmati Express. Why? This is a hidden agenda, not only hidden agenda, this is open agenda. I don't call it a hidden agenda. This film is guided by the open agenda of the Red Green Club of Kerala.
Okay, you're repeating that charge for the second straight time.
And one more thing, one more thing. One more thing.
Just 10 seconds. Just 10
I'm
seconds.
adding one more thing. Just one adding. Just 10 seconds. You know, during the Nehru era, Majhul Sultanpuri was a very popular figure. He was a comrade. He was not a RSS person. Balraj Sahni was also a comrade. He was part of the Communist Party's cultural organization. Both were arrested. Why? So there is a difference between Modi era and the Nehru era. During the Prime Minister Modi's regime, no filmmaker was arrested. Nobody was questioned. Nobody was threatened. And the two people were arrested. Most popular figures were arrested because he questioned the Nehru's role in letting India to join the Commonwealth.
Okay, Rakesh ji, I've completely run out of time, but I'm thanking you, Kapil, Sanjana and also Vivek who decided to walk out of the debate midway. But these are hard questions. Hard, straight questions. We'll try to, answer them also. For the moment, I'm thanking all our guests right now. But the crux of the story, what is the crux of the story? What is it that we figure out at the end of the day? This is Newsnight's Parting Shot. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the firestorm around films like Empuraan, the Kashmir Files, Shava and the Kerala Story has left us with big questions. Yes, there are still a lot of questions. Are filmmakers crossing a line, or they are just soldiers in what is now looking like a battle of narratives? These movies, celebrated by some but condemned by others, have reignited the clash between storytelling and sensitivity, between art and agenda. But think about this. Should cinema not be sticking to clean entertainment that is free of any kind of slant? Or is that just a fantasy that is too much to ask in a world where every frame, mind you, carries a perspective? Controversy might be a megaphone, but it is also a mirror. That's all for tonight. I'm Deepthi signing off, and we'll be back tomorrow to unpack whatever's next. Good night.